Hey, welcome back to the channel. Um, so I just wanted to jump on here, and I've been on a little bit of like a deep dive of sorts on what it looks like as a Christian husband and father um, to actually lead your family well. Um, and it's kind of taking me down these, like these four things. We're called to be the prophet, priest, protector, and provider of our family. And so as I was like kind of thinking about this and doing like a little bit of a deep dive into what this actually looks like, how this is actually like lived out, I um, as I was doing this, my we've had some behavioral issues with our children. In particular, my son has he struggles really bad with ADHD, and so he's very hyper, impulsive, all of those things. And so we made the difficult decision to put him on medicine. And if anybody's ever put or been on medicine or put your children on medicine, you know that there's like a little bit of like a feeling out process, right? There's a trial and error where you just like, you're seeing what side effects there's going to be, all of those things. And the reason I bring all that up is because, man, it's been like really stressful in our home. And so as I've been thinking of like, how do I lead my family well? How do I, um, how do I, like help them navigate all these situations? Some stuff has really started to kind of like bubble to the surface that I feel like I need to deal with. And like the main thing is I've come to the realization that like emotionally, my emotional health is not where it should be. And it was last week one day, and I was at home. I was cleaning the house. The kids had been home because of snow and weather and all that, and they'd been home for a few days, and so our house was a disaster. And so they'd went back to school. My wife had went back to work. I had the day off, so I spent the day kind of cleaning. And um, it had been a rough evening the night before. It was a rough morning, and man, it was just like I had like this outburst of anger, that I wasn't proud of. Um, I would never, physically harm my children or my wife, but sometimes that emotions I don't know how to handle those emotions, and so I've just really come to discover that my emotional intelligence, my emotional health is needs some work. And as I was cleaning, as I was working, I had like YouTube on in the background, had some like worship music going on. It was on like autoplay. And somebody that I follow, subscribe to on YouTube, they were doing an interview with this author, and um, his name is, sorry, I'm looking it up, Jason Wilson. And so he's a Christian, he's an author, and he's coming out with a new book called The Man the Moment Needs, I believe. But he had written another book called Battle Cry, and it's Waging and Winning the War Within. And so I've really just been on this kind of like deep dive of like, if you know me, I also have ADHD, and so it causes these like hyper fixation moments where I'm like, I get hyper fixated on things. And right now, I don't think this is a bad hyper fixation, but right now I'm hyper fixated on my emotions and my emotional health. And I think there was one quote in here in his book. I've just started reading it, and I just want to kind of like document, my journey on like, because I think as men, it's something we don't talk about, right? We're supposed to be like strong and tough, and you don't cry and all those things. And man, it's just led to like my emotional well-being being all over the place. And there's a quote that stuck out to me. It says, "The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your emotions." And I mean, that just like, as soon as I read that, I highlighted it. And then I read it to my wife as soon as I could. And I'm like, man, my emotions, if I'm being honest, are like destroying my life, right? And so I just wanted to kind of document like my journey, because I know this is something that we all struggle with as men, right? Like we struggle with leading our family well, but I think the main problem the main thing that we struggle with, and the main reason we struggle with leading our family well, is because we're not leading ourselves very well, and that is true of myself. And so, just for some backstory, if you're new here, my name is Derek. I'm a husband, a father. I am a pastor at a church, a youth pastor at a church. If you don't already know me, both of our kids, we have an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they are both adopted. Our youngest, our little boy, was adopted out of foster care. And there was some trauma in his past, like from when he was born, from when he was in utero, that has led to this just like extreme ADHD. And so my wife and I are trying to navigate. My daughter also, I think some of it is learned from me, who struggles with my emotions, who struggles with just being emotionally healthy and processing things in a proper way. I was never taught that, and I have not passed that down to my children, and so I've not been leading them well in this respect, and so it's caused a little bit of chaos in our home. I'm sad to say, and so I'm gonna, I think, just document my journey on here, just as this way of like for myself personally, of looking back and seeing like where God has taken me as I've walked through this. So the book that I'm currently reading is called Battle Cry. It's by Jason Wilson, and you can search Jason Wilson. You'll see several clips of him coming up. Man, he's such a wise man that has really, spoken to this space of emotional health, especially for men. And so I wanted to just kind of document my journey, and hopefully someone out there that maybe struggles with the same thing, that has struggled emotionally, struggled with processing difficult things, trauma in their past, anything like that, maybe is a small help to you. So, I think, the main thing to really kind of focus on for me going forward is just kind of looking back in my past. I don't think that there's no big like traumas that have happened, especially when I was younger. I lived a pretty normal childhood, but I do believe I was not given the tools to properly handle my emotions. And as I think back, and as I think like the way that I react to certain situations, I told my wife the other day, I'm like, I'm an emotional child, right? Emotionally, I'm a child. And as a leader in my home, that can't be the case. As a leader in the church, that definitely can't be the case. And so I just want to document my journey on, just navigating what it looks like to be a Christian man that's trying to lead his family, lead his home, lead in his community, lead in his church. And I think the first step to that is finding my way towards some emotional health and understanding how to properly navigate different emotions and different, feelings and traumas and things that I've had from my past. So if you would, like and subscribe if you want to follow along in the journey. And I look forward to seeing where God takes us, seeing where God takes me, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Love you guys.